A new report from Entertainment Software Association is out this week, and the numbers may surprise you. More than 6.6 million North Carolinians, that's 64% of the state, play video games at least 1 hour a week, including our own Carlene Bragg here.
Sure do.
Yeah, who loves it? And Aubrey Quinn is the Senior Vice President now of Communications and Public Affairs at ESA to talk about some of the data. Aubrey, thanks for joining us here this morning.
About video games.
Yeah, so talk to us. Let's talk about these numbers. Quite striking. Nearly 2/3 of North Carolinians are gamers. Who exactly are we talking about?
What I love about the ESA's Essential Facts report that we put out every single year is that it kind of blows people's minds. We all have this stereotype, this vision of who plays video games, and in reality, everyone plays. Our report shows that it's about equal split, men and women. In fact, in North Carolina, 51% of players are men, 49 are women. So it's almost an equal gender split, and the average age is 37 years old. So gamers aren't just young kids playing in mom and dad's basement after school. Everyone plays video games today.
Yeah, that is amazing, and I get it because it, just kind of you blow off steam, certainly, some stimulation. What is the public perception like then of gaming? How has that shifted over the years?
So people have to keep in mind that video games are a form of entertainment. We grow up reading books and watching TV and listening to music and going to movies. We don't grow out of that. We don't expect people to age out of music or movies. A lot of us now grew up with games. We had consoles at home. We played Oregon Trail as kids, and we understand the benefits of play. And so even non-gamers recognize that there's a lot of good that comes from video games. I love that 86% of all adults in North Carolina, gamers and not gamers, say that games are fun. 82% say that they provide mental stimulation, and 82% say they provide stress relief, blowing off steam like you were talking about. And more than 3 in 4 acknowledge that games teach us problem-solving skills. So we get in there to have fun. We grew up with games. They're one of our favorite pastimes, but there are also these mental cognitive benefits that come from gameplay that no other form of screen time gives us.
And this is different from screen time, right? Because a recent warning from the Surgeon General Advisory talking about children's screen time, mostly dealing with social media and its mental health aspects. But video games is another category.
Well, video games are a form of screen time, right? We get online, whether on our mobile device, on our TV, but they're not passive screen time. We aren't just consuming what someone else is creating. When you're playing a video game, you're solving problems. You are learning teamwork because you might be playing a co-op game with someone else. There are all these cognitive benefits that come with games. So I love that our research shows that most older players, so 35 and older, recognize those mental benefits. Kids don't necessarily. They get on because their friends are playing, it's fun to do, but it's sort of like making your kids eat their vegetables by sneaking them into smoothies. They're getting the mental benefits from gameplay, even though they're getting on to have fun.
And it's important for parents to know the distinction too when they put their kids and leave their kids in a room with their computer that they're playing video games, right? Isn't it for parents to have that sort of distinction?
Yeah, I am a mom. I've got 3 kids. We're big gamers, as you can imagine, in our house. And, given the choice between letting my kids doom scroll or just sit down and, binge watch something, I prefer that they spend their designated screen time on video games because I know it's active screen time. But also, everything. There's too much of anything is a bad thing. And so I love reminding parents that virtually every device you can play video games on has parental controls. And you can use those controls to limit the amount of time they play, when they play. You can set it up, so it shuts down right at dinner time or right before bedtime. So if you do have a game device at your home, make sure you're using parental controls to help teach kids those digital skills, like when's it appropriate, okay to talk to people online. And these are part of our, responsibilities as parents in this digital age, is to teach them how to properly use these systems. And the industry has invested a ton of made big investments in resources and tools for parents to do appropriate and teach appropriate gameplay at their houses.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take too much time to get those parental controls
Right.
in line as well to get that in
That's
order.
right.
And then
Yep.
as far as a budget or spending, what does the data show when it comes to spending money on video games?
So one of the facts I love out of this year's Essential Facts report is that every single person we asked, whether generationally, all the way up to the silent generation, 80 and older, plus men and women, they all agree that video games give you the biggest bang for your buck in terms of entertainment. I think about it this way. If I take my 3 kids to a movie, the 4 of us go, I'm spending about $100 here in Washington, D.C. for 2 to 3 hours of entertainment. If I buy a video game or invest in a video game, we're going to have hundreds of hours of entertainment, especially when I'm interacting with my kids and we can play it together for less money. And so I love that America recognized the value and the economic value that comes from playing video games. I thought that was a really cool fact, and it shows that, we like doing things together, and we recognize that play is really good. Life is stressful. We should all be having a little more fun, and video games are one way we can do that in a really healthy way.
Yeah, good point there. And then as far as social interactions, certainly within the house and your family, if you play video games, but how about outside, outside of your own home? People do meet other gamers, and the safety precautions that, are in place for that.
Yeah, so I think it's really cool that video games allow you to connect and meet people from around the world. There are a lot of people who maybe have mobility limitations or restrictions. I love that children's hospitals recognize that having video game systems in their hospitals lets kids who are being treated for different things or who might be immunodeficient, they can still interact with their friends. So there's so many benefits from being able to connect with people around the world or even in your neighborhood when we're home with COVID, so for us to interact and stay connected. That said, letting your kids interact with strangers can be a scary thing. And so again, with those parental controls, my kids are different ages. My 21-year-old gets to talk to whoever he wants to in the internet. He's an adult. My 12-year-old daughter, we have pretty strict rules, and I have to approve through our parental controls everyone she interacts with when she's playing games, which means she's playing with big brothers who are at college, her cousins who live across the country, and some friends that I know in real life. And those parental controls can help teach kids, when is it okay and when is it responsible to talk to different people. It helps facilitate those conversations with parents and children who are learning good digital citizenship, if you will. So I love that adults can very safely take advantage of, meeting new people online, and then parents have the tools to help teach their kids and still let them enjoy the benefits of interactive play without connecting with strangers if they aren't old enough and aren't ready to have that responsibility.
Yeah, it's definitely a balance there, a combination in the digital age. And I can't believe you have a 21-year-old, but okay, that's another story. For parents in the Carolinas, what should we take away from this report, Aubrey?
So I like to remind everyone that games are good, right? We know that there are mental benefits that come from play. They let us blow off steam, but too much of any good thing can be a bad thing. So make sure you take advantage of those parental controls. Use the ESRB age ratings to make sure the games your kids are playing are age appropriate. The same way we look at ratings for movies and TV shows, those exist for video games. Take just a few minutes it takes to set up parental controls and then have the conversation with your kids. My number one piece of advice for parents is always play. Let them beat you at something. Ask them to teach you how to play their game. There's so many cool co-op games. With teenagers, it can be hard for parents to find things to do with their kids. My teenagers like to beat me at Mario Kart. And so make sure that you're taking advantage of play. Watch what your kids are doing, ask them about it, and just have fun.
All right. Done and done. All right. Getting the green light to play Mario Karts. Love it, Aubrey. Aubrey Quinn from Entertainment Software Association. Appreciate the time.
Thanks for having me.